What's good, everybody? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. My name is Corey, and today we're going to be talking about Justice League Warworld. So we have gathered today, animated movie fans, to talk about Justice League Warworld. And let me say in a few different adjectives, Justice League Warworld was pretty damn good. I really enjoyed it. I would say it's probably super cool, super dope, just a very interesting take on a lot of characters that we already knew. So this is going to be a bit of a spoiler review because the movie is out on VOD. So if you haven't seen it, you just heard of it, go ahead and watch it. Come back and check this out. But I am going to talk a bit about the plot and some of the things you can expect when you look at this movie and just my thoughts about how everything was executed, because I feel like it was, pretty damn good. So conceptually, let's talk about the concept of the movie first. So you have the DC Trinity of Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, and they all have their different scenarios, and that takes you to about the halfway point in the movie. I never in my life imagined that Wonder Woman would fit so well into her Wild West motif. Like, that background really fit her character well. She does carry around a lasso, but I never thought that it would make sense for her to be on horseback and actually lassoing bad guys. So I was like, yeah, that's cool that she's used in that way. I thought it was different that they decided to use Jonah Hex as a villain. Normally when we see Jonah Hex, it's gonna be in small doses like it was here, but it was cool to see him play a bit of a different role from what he normally plays in the things that you see him. My experience with Jonah Hex as a character really is limited to that horrible Josh Brolin Jonah Hex movie of the mid 2000s or maybe 2000 teens, and the stuff that you get on Legends of Tomorrow, which is not the best show. So seeing him here and having him play the villain, I was all good with that. Moving on to the Batman section of the story, Batman is like this Herculean mercenary type character. It's very different to see Batman with no technology, but still have all his detection skills, even though he doesn't have the full operation of his mental capacity. He doesn't know he's Bruce Wayne, he doesn't know he's in a simulation and all that stuff. So it was cool to see that take on Bruce, just way more physical and not necessarily being as noble as we know Bruce Wayne to be and how he's portrayed in all the comics and other forms of media that you see him in. The Superman section of the movie, when you get to his portion, is really cool because it gives you Twilight Zone vibes. They use the lack of color in a really smart way, and I was like, yo, this dope. I didn't think of that as being a factor in the actual movie that we're watching at all. I thought it was something they were doing to mess with the audience, and as it turns out, it was something that they were actually doing to mess with the characters as well, and they noticed the lack of color too. I thought that was really smart and really cool, and it made that section of the movie different from the previous two sections of the movie, and also important to the movie moving forward. So I was cool with that. The back half of the movie to me really kind of becomes a bit more standard for what we see in DC animated films, or really in any comic book related show, is going to be the heroes banding together and overcoming what seems like insurmountable odds. But we got Superman involved, so nothing is truly insurmountable if might is an issue. You also have Batman and Wonder Woman, who are tacticians, who are smart, who bring some intelligence when it comes to operating machinery or computers and stuff. So they bring essential elements, and having all three of them be at their peak in this movie is like, yo, there's nothing that can stand against them. The unraveling of the bad guys toward the end of the movie made perfect sense, because look at the level of heroes that we have here in present, taking on whatever foe. It's the baddest three in the DC landscape. The more interesting part is how this movie ends, is because it clearly wants to set up some type of Crisis on Infinite Earths level situation, and it just makes me wonder, are we going to get a reset like we did with Justice League Apocalypse War? That was a really cool way to bring all the different animation styles together and then reset everything and then change animation style. Are we doing that here? Are we setting up this situation to where this animation style and this run of movies has run its course, and they're going to have another Justice League level event that's a crisis situation, and then boom, we have a new animation style and a new way to move forward, for the next few years. It would be cool. I was actually looking for it to like be a little bit more formal when we got into this animation style after coming out of Apocalypse War, but I'm cool with it. I like this flat look, and I actually think if this is how they set up anything else moving forward, this is a cool way to lay the seeds. Having Bruce not fully know the whole landscape, having Clark and Diana not fully understand their roles and their relationships and their closeness, and then bringing them together, even though it's going to be a bit of a forced situation. Maybe they recover their memories moving forward, and then we get this crisis level event with a bunch of more characters being involved. So I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty damn good. Because it was just such a creative way to bring you all the characters that you know and are familiar with without having to like run back through all that lore of their past and all that stuff, and you can drop them into really unique and different situations. So I enjoyed it. I'm very high on it. Let me know your thoughts on Justice League Warworld in the comments section. Again, DC animation has always done so well, and I'm normally quite pleased with it. There's only a handful that I would look at and say, it wasn't that fun. But this one was a fun one to me. I like the way they roll things out. Again, please let me know your thoughts on it. That's all we have for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.